Yo, what is up everybody, Jay the Great here. So as you all know, recently Masashi Kishimoto and the owning entities in Naruto released the Minato special one-shot read, Naruto, The World Within the Spiral. This has reinvigorated the nostalgia and interest in the Naruto-verse, and more specifically and obviously, Minato Namikaze. Even previous to the release of this new Minato one-shot, Minato Namikaze was a highly respected shinobi within the Naruto-verse and Naruto fandom alike. He is heralded for his blazing speed and his heroic acts in his final moments. However, despite the high regard in which he was held during his shinobi career, with even entire nations enacting run-aside orders for him due to his high caliber and ability, many in the Naruto fandom in the past have asked themselves in wonder, just how strong is Minato? And due to the ambiguity of Minato's upper limits and abilities, some believe Minato even rivals Hashirama, while others believe even Tobirama beats him. So does this new Minato one-shot manga shine any new light on just how strong Minato is? Well, in today's video, I will be analyzing the new manga and extrapolating relevant empirical evidence in an attempt to get a gauge for just how strong Minato truly is. But as always, before I begin, if you could just take a second to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated, as that greatly helps the growth of the channel, and as always, thank you for all the continuing support. So I first think it is important to try and approximate during what time and age the events of the new manga take place to get an approximation of Minato's age and rank. We see Minato at the very beginning of the manga with his team, specifically Team 6 as iterated by his teammate Dekai later on, with Jiraiya being the clear leader of Team 6. Furthermore, based off Minato's attire, he appears to be wearing a Chunin vest, as historically what he is wearing is what we see other Chunin wear as well. Now, as far as the approximate point in history these events take place, it is more than likely the Second Great Ninja War, as in the Third Great Ninja War, there are already run-on-site orders for Minato, which are not remotely mentioned, and in fact would be contradicted, as the 4 and 5 Taijin Cherokees show Minato and Team 6 no respect and certainly don't run away. Additionally, in the Third Great Ninja War, Minato is a squad captain, and Kakashi is more than likely at least a genin by the beginning of the Third Great Ninja War, with Kakashi here appearing to have no headband at all, indicating that he more than likely hasn't even graduated the academy yet. Hence, these events more than likely take place during the Second Great Ninja War, with Minato probably being around 15 to 16 years old at this point in time. Now, before we get to actually attempting to accurately scale Minato, I wanted to first debunk a few misconceptions and/or arguments in bad faith I've seen floating around in the Naruto fandom, as I'm sure anti-Minato personnel will continue to use them, and even in this comment section as well. The first of which being, Minato is slower than even One-Tail Kushina. Looking at the two panels in which Minato is struck by One-Tail Kushina, we clearly see Minato aware of the beefification Kushina is going through. However, as you can clearly see, he is checking on her well-being rather than being in a defensive reactionary position. It is intuitively dishonest to claim that Minato was straight up blissed by One-Tail Kushina here, as not only is he checking on her well-being, but he is literally bending over, clearly not in a defensive reactionary position whatsoever. So to compare this incident to one like Kakuzu being blissed by Naruto would be a blatant false equivalency, as Minato is for one, not in a combat situation, and two, again clearly not in a defensive reactionary position, while conversely, someone like Kakuzu clearly is in a combat situation and clearly is in a defensive reactionary position when being blitzed. Now, to add even more fuel to the fire, when we then see Minato impaled by V2 Kushina, the claim that this serves as proof that he is slower than her in V2 is even more disingenuous, as he can literally not remove his hand with him attempting to secure the seal he is putting on Kushina to restrain the Nine Tails chakra, with him clearly being willing to die to ensure this and Kushina's protection. Hence, this argument is certainly flimsy and very falsifiable. The second common fallible argument I want to address is Minato being compared to Hashirama is the same as Hashirama saying Itachi is greater than himself. This once again is a blatant false equivalency, as the context in which these statements are said are far different. When Hashirama says Itachi is a greater shinobi than even himself, this is immediately after the lore establishing stories told by himself and Sasuke. This is clearly not said during or after a physical altercation, but rather after an illustration of the high nobility and character of Itachi Uchiha. Now, the Minato statement is iterated during a physical altercation, with Minato attempting to seal Kurama within Kushina. Due to this observation, Kurama makes the statement he's augmenting the tetragram in his own style, a most powerful shinobi ranking alongside the first Hokage Hashirama. Hence, clearly statements iterated in far different context. Hashirama is saying this out of respect for Itachi's character and nobility, while conversely, Kurama is iterating this due to his shock and disbelief for the physical ability of Minato, which I will discuss more in depth in this video later. Therefore, this fallible argument is quite weak and refutable as well. Now, the third common bad argument I want to address is Minato doesn't scale to himself in the astral plane or the sort of mental space in which the Kurama altercation takes place. This is actually incorrect, as there is a panel when Naruto is facing the Nine Tails where Killer Bee says he is not as mighty here in Naruto's astral plane as in the real world, which addresses and indicates that those that are not within their own astral plane or mental realm are actually less capable than in the real world. What further reinforces this premise is that Minato himself in the astral plane of Kushina can be observed to be emitting chakra flames from his body, meaning this is most likely a fraction of Minato's actual power and ability on display. Furthermore, if you die in the astral plane, you also most likely die in the real world, which is implied by Killer Bee when Yamato asks him what happens if Naruto fails to tame the Nine Tails. Hence, not only is Minato not strong on the astral plane, but he's actually weaker in the astral plane compared to the real world, as this isn't his own astral plane. Hence, this argument is not only incorrect, but the antithesis is actually the case via proof by contradiction with the empirical evidence I just provided. Lastly, the final argument I want to address, which isn't exactly awful, but certainly contentious, is Kushina in her one-toe form is more powerful than Minato. This proposition has been constructed due to Minato's statement, "I like strong people stronger than me," which he makes when we see Kushina in her one-toe form. However, I would argue that this specific implication is very falsifiable. Firstly, Kurama himself contradicts this by asking, "Why is a shinobi of your caliber fussing over this last?" implying he sees Minato in higher regard as opposed to Kushina, and has no reason to lie as he clearly hates both of them with a passion. On top of that, Minato himself states he is creating his new jutsu to protect Kushina, indicating his superiority in battle as well. Hence, when Minato iterates this statement, he is more than likely referencing Kushina's character and possibly chakra reserves and life force, as opposed to her ability to engage in combat, and is also saying this in defense of Kushina, which he clearly cares about deeply, with Kurama sort of dismissing her as unimportant when it comes to her ability. Hence, the probability that Kushina in one tail is stronger than this iteration of Minato is extremely unlikely, to be frank. Now, to be fair, I have no problem with the claim that a hypothetical full awakened Nine Tails Kushina is stronger than this current Minato, as we see what Naruto, which is half of the Nine Tails, is capable of throughout the narrative, and I will get into this specific comparison more as well later in the video. So with those now out of the way, we can now get into the scaling of Minato, with the first aspect of discussion being durability. Minato gets hit by Kushina in her one-tail state and still has enough stamina and chakra to attempt to seal Kurama's chakra immediately after. This is impressive as four-tail Naruto, when striking Sakura in V2 during the Tenchi Bridge mission, doesn't even slice her, while conversely Kushina, which is one-tail, slashes Minato's body quite badly. This indicates that being the Jinchuriki of the full Nine Tails gives you considerably higher AP, as opposed to only having half the Nine Tails, and also illuminates Minato's high durability and toughness. Additionally, he survives being impaled by V2 Kushina with upwards of 6 tails when looking at the panel, which we've seen other shinobi die of similar wounds, still having enough chakra to combat the Nine Tails and clash with him using a Rasengan against his developing Bijou bomb. We've seen empirically when that clashes take place, they can do considerable harm, such as Naruto and Sasuke losing their arms when clashing at the end of the war arc. To withstand an attack from a Nine Tails Bijou Bomb, even partially developed, is an absurd feat of durability, as we've seen the type of raw power and AP the Nine Tails can output, with only half of the Nine Tails using a Bijou Bomb being enough to negate 6 Bijou Bombs combined from other tailed beasts. Put this into perspective for even a better grasp of Minato's durability. Sick Orochimaru nearly died from his altercation with Four Tails Naruto, and Jiraiya nearly died from a single strike from Four Tails Naruto, who again only has half the Nine Tails chakra, while conversely, Minato survived 2 attacks from a full Nine Tails Jinchuriki, and even a clash with the Nine Tails itself, using a Bijou Bomb, and lived to tell the tale. If thought is not the definition of absurdly high durability, then I don't know what is. Prior to this manga, we never see Minato battle tested, as he was so much more superior to his adversaries, but here we finally get a gauge for how tough and durable Minato really is. So aside from his blazing speed, he can certainly take damage if need be, and still be effective in battle to some high degree, with his obviously high level of durability. This catapults us into the next aspect of scaling for Minato, which is AP. With his newly discovered and mastered Rasengan, he is able to stalemate and match the energy output of a partially developed Bijou Bomb from the Nine Tails itself, again, most likely not even at full power himself. For those that say this partially developed smaller Bijou Bomb is significantly lower in AP, we actually see smaller Bijou Bombs even damage Hashirama's 1,000 hand Buddha statue when he's combating Madara and the Nine Tails, with this specific Bijou Bomb most likely being similar in size and AP. Now, the Nine Tails is far and away the strongest tailed beast, so with Minato having this level of success against him, it indicates a very high probability that even teen Minato with a Rasengan could possibly even overpower the tailed beast bombs of the weaker tailed beasts. Hence, even as a teenager, Minato was already relative in power and caliber to Bijou, which is absurdly impressive and certainly had to be highlighted here. We now finally get to arguably the most important aspect, which has led to the most discussed and highlighted panel in a long time, that being the Minato-Hashirama comparison. As we all clearly know, Kurama himself says a most powerful shinobi, ranking alongside the first Hokage Hashirama, unbelievable. Now before we get into the actual comparison, I must certainly discuss the translation itself, as that has been a topic of discussion, with so many arguing it is a mistranslation to conform to their own bias. First of all, the process in which the manga is translated is a 3-step process, which is explained in this article by the official Naruto website, with the link to this article being in the description as well, which also shows the highly credible credentials of some of the staff on the team. In an interview with the translator and the editor of a large portion of the Naruto manga, they go on to explain the difference in cultural and contextual nuance between English and Japanese, which results in them having to obviously reword and contort statements, as opposed to translating them based off the raw Japanese scans. Regardless, they go on to emphasize that translators go out of their way to maintain the true meaning of statements when translating them to English. Hence, to claim that the Kurama statement is a mistranslation is certainly far-fetched and most likely an intuitively dishonest method to conform to your own bias. Now, as far as a raw translation, I inputted the raw Japanese statement into ChatGPT, DeepL, and even Google Translate, and here's what the output translation was for all three. In all three, we can see English statements that are not very coherent to begin with, as again, there are many differences in nuance and other aspects between English and Japanese. Hence, the credible entities involved in translated the statement in a way to best represent what was being said with their high expertise. But now back to the power scaling. Skeptics are quick to claim that Kurama is implying Minato's sealing ability is similar to Hashirama's. However, empirically, Hashirama is not known for sealing, and in fact is not looked to as a sealer such as Minato, with there being a couple instances empirically which imply lack of sealing ability, such as him calling for the sealing corpse to seal Madara, and again, his wife being the one to seal Kurama, and not him. Hashirama is known for the power to physically restrain and sedate Biju like he did Kurama when combating Madara. The most likely implication being made by Kurama here is that Minato as a shinobi belongs in the very rare air that only Hashirama and Madara dwell in, due to a similar ability to subdue and combat Biju at such a high level, with this premise being further reinforced by the success a weakened Minato had against a full Nine-Tails partially developed Biju bomb with a newly mastered Rasengan. In fact, Madara speaks of no one in such a high regard except Hashirama, Madara, and now Minato respectfully. However, I'm not saying that Team Minato is as powerful as Hashirama or can defeat him at his best, but rather I am simply illuminating that with this statement, Team Minato, and more specifically Hokage Minato, is in a similar league to these two, at least in terms of combating and dealing with Biju. I would go as far as to say Hokage Minato would be a threat to Hashirama, with the statement easily above Biju level, casually teleporting away even 10-tail Biju bombs, as we later see. With this new manga and the events that transpire within it, we can now more safely put Minato in that rare air, which upscales others actually, such as Obito, who did what he did as a teenager against Hokage Minato as well. This actually correlates to the narrative quite nicely, as Madara and Obito are illustrated in a way during the war arc to be arbitrarily relative to each other as well. Despite this, however, empirically there isn't enough for me to safely claim he could beat Hashirama due to the still minuscule amount of empirical evidence available, but again, there is now enough to claim he would present a challenge to Hashirama, specifically as an adult when he is much more capable and deadly. Minato's speed and very powerful Rasengan wouldn't be something Hashirama can simply dismiss, as it would certainly hurt him directly, with the Rasengan we now know having Biju levels of AP and Hashirama having to use Wood Style when combating the Nine-Tails and Madara. Hence, Minato at his best is in the same weight class, if you will, as Hashirama and Madara, but I would still not say equal in ability to either one, as even in the war arc it was clear who the strongest reanimated Hokage on the battlefield was. And there you guys have it, the new Minato manga analyzed and dissected in depth. This manga one-shot only further added to the legendary lore of Minato Namikaze, and made the argument that he is one of the strongest shinobi much stronger and creatable. Masashi Kishimoto clearly went out of his way to illustrate to us, the reader, how powerful and legendary Minato truly is. Now, with this being such a talked about topic, I'm sure there are differing opinions on the matter, so please feel free to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, or even join my Discord, which is in the description as well, to discuss Minato scaling further. Anyways, that is all I have for you folks, and I will see you in the next video.